Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be building a .NET Core website today. And this is going to be for pixelhorrorstudios.com, and we're going to do it from scratch. We're going to do it within 3 hours. And I have much of the content already prepared, but not all of it. The site that we're going to be using is this one-page site here. If we look at the index for it, this is designed by Asen. Okay, Asen makes templates, so we could just take a look and see. So you could just buy one of these things for a couple bucks, and then you get a whole bunch of different themes. So the one that we're going to be using is this one. We're going to chunk the pieces that we want after we bring it in, and we're going to bring everything in as partials. We're going to hook up this form here as well. We'll probably kill those and not bring in authorization, although I probably will bring in that after the fact. So I will be importing that into the project. Okay, so when I look at Visual Studio, let's go ahead and create a new project. Welcome back, Shadow. How was your trip? It was good. The best thing about Florida was leaving. Just kidding. Florida's all right. I'm in California, so it's pretty similar, but a little different demographic. Welcome back, says, hey man, how's it going? It's good to see you. Mike, yeah? My break went well, yeah, and it's good. It's good to be back though. So we're gonna do this ASP.NET Core site pretty quick today. So let's go ahead and start up the web application here, and we want to put this in my Pixel Horror Studios site. And we're gonna say that this is gonna be called phs.website. We're going to do this as a web application, and we might as well bring in authorization for individual user accounts, and then we'll eventually hook this into the authorization server, but this is a 3-hour, really quick deal. Okay, so a MVC core site looks a little bit different than a MVC4. Most notably is that there's no more content folder. All of it kind of resembles what you have with like Tomcat or one of the other one of the other web servers out there, so that you can kind of put all of your content into one location. So we're going to start bringing in our location. We might as well run the default project. This is already set up, I believe, with Entity Framework, or we will be bringing in Entity Framework on this. Quick and dirty, says Glowing Soul. I like it. Okay, here it is loading. Give it a moment, and in the meantime, what we're going to do is I'm going to open a new Git here. So you can see. Okay, let's go ahead and make a new one here. We're going to say that this is my phs.website. And it's just going to see the website for Pixel Horror Studios. Okay, and we can go ahead and give this a README. We'll go ahead and give this a Visual Studio git ignore, and we'll add a license. I don't care. Okay. So this is the default site that you get with ASP.NET Core. You can see that it includes authorization. I think that this is hooked into local DB. We can check by looking at all of the files in here. And here inside of, looks like that might have been changed. But we can check the database as well and just see what my connection string looks like. Okay, so here I can go ahead and create a new user. Just same thing as what we're used to already. We'll do and then just 1 second here, I just do something like this is just running local. Okay. Stupid. Oh my God. So you can obviously change these rules if you want. Did I finally get it? Oh my God, that was annoying. Okay. So it's probably going to fail because I think my default database is not set up. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me take a look at the SQL management here. Actually, we could do this. Wow. Password fail. Yeah. So the reason why, though, is here inside of SQL Server. Ha ha ha. If I look here at my database, I got Pixel Horror Studios and Pixel Horror Studios off. I don't have a database that's in there. So let me take a look at my web config here. So you can see that this operation failed while processing it because we need to apply the explicit migrations for our context. So that's using database first is what this is using in Entity Framework. So let me check that. Just 1 second, please. Yeah. So that's exactly what the problem is. So here you can see that my connection string inside of .NET Core, instead of having a web.config, we have something called an app-settings.json, right? And so if I look inside of here, I can actually see the default connection that it's created, and it's this different connection string than what I was using. So let me open my last project here, and I'll pull the connection string from that. We'll dump that into our new project. What is the name of this plugin? Which plugin are you talking about? The other way that you can get these is that you can come over here, you can do a connection, string, SQL, server, entity, framework, code first, .NET Core. And you can just search for it. Somewhere in here, they're just going to have it dumped in. There. So let me load this one real quick. It is code first. You have to run migrations, create the migrations. Yeah, it's code first. I have to do that right now. Exactly what you're saying. And then I need to, just a second there. But I have to grab the correct connection string. So we'll do that here. And if I look inside of my models here, you can see that I have my accounts already set up as well. So we're going to run over to the views, and we're going to turn off at the moment well, we'll do that in just a second. So let me start bringing in then while this loads over here. There we go. One more second. There it is. Okay, so let's take a look back over here at the app settings. This is the connection string that I was interested in. I can just go ahead and grab just the string. So it looks like here I need to have my integrated security multiple results set. Let's go ahead and change those out. This is the name of the database here, so we don't want this one. We're going to call this one phs.website. And then this one, we're going to go ahead and call the server this. Easy enough. Okay, so now let's go ahead and apply that. If I open the package manager here, NuGet, I can do a add migration. I'm going to say init. Sorry for my bad English. No problems. Add on that writes an app. When you write, Launchy, I think it's called. I put it on yesterday. It's called Launchy. So this is the initial context here, the migration that we've created. So let's go ahead and update the database with that. All right, so it's just finished updating the database. And now if I look at this, here it is. You can see the new website, and inside you can see my tables, and these are just the new identity tables, which I believe have a different name, but somebody can pipe in about what that new system is called. We're not going to be using that at the moment. So, but what we can do is that we're going to rerun this. We'll show that the accounts can generate, and then we're going to disable it. And then we're going to start to bring in the template. Now, some templates come with an already built ASP.NET shell. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. This one does not. So we're going to do liberdef trying, and we just said practice makes perfect. So now you can see that we're logged in, and I can probably look at my own account, and I can change my password already. And I already gained these external logins so that I can add multiple logins, which is something that we have to do manually in MVC 4. That might be inaccurate. I think that that's inaccurate, and that's something I need to change on my other project. And then additionally, we're also set up for two-factor auth. So that means receiving a message on your phone or to confirm it, your account prior to logging in. I know some of you might have that on Twitch already. And then if I look down here at my startup, you can see that we get all this other fun stuff here. We have something called configure services. So .NET Core is already set up with dependency injection, which is another thing that we've been using in ASP.NET Core is set up with dependency injection. And in MVC 4, we've been implementing that using Unity, the Unity container system. So now this time it's already set up for this, so we can just inject our services that we want to add. We just add them right here and off they go. So they've already set up a couple of services here for us, like an email sender class. Do we have an implementation of that? We do. So you can see that even though it's not implemented, the structure is here for you to implement your own email system on top. Now, we don't need any of this, which is great. So if I come back here into accounts and I want to look at home and I want to look at my index, .NET Core is a little bit different here. Again, it looks probably a lot more familiar. So here's that carousel that we were working with. I want to look for the login. So that's here under my shared layout, right? And here you can see that I can specify different environments in here. This is my navigation system. And here is login partial. So I believe I can just literally remove the partial and we're good. And there it is. So now you can no longer log into the site. And to double check that, we're going to come over here to account, and I want to go to my login, and we can comment it, and we can go to the register, and we can comment it, and we can go to the reset password, and we can comment it. Same with the confirmation, send code, verify code, lockout, password confirmation, forgot password, external login failure, confirmation, and confirm email, and access denied. Okay, let's go ahead and close all of those. Bite. Blind says, well, there's a job I won't get. I went to an interview and I couldn't remember the acronyms in SOLID, even though I know what the principles are. SOLID? I don't remember what that is. Isn't that database integrity, something like that? I could talk about dependency inversion. I could talk about the integration, the interface segregation principles, and we can talk about this stuff if you'd like. This works really well for team environments. This I don't know. This seems oddly specific. Anyways. All right, so we're done with these views, and we also want to make sure that we do the same thing on our controllers here. So we'll just comment these as well, so just take a second. Okay. Well, those are actually my models. That was a mistake. Let me go back. Sorry, wrong ones. I meant to do the controllers there. I was like, So controllers are here, and we want to change out on account pretty much everything. Easy enough. Okay, so we also want to come out manage, and that has successfully disabled the auth system while keeping it intact. We also need to turn off the manage scripts. Object-oriented principles, low coupling, single responsibility, DI. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know a lot of the terms for everything. It's just a really, you know, you ever coded, even a little knows that subtype can replace the type it inherits from in some context, but even the principle is called the, I call it, that's polymorphism. It's the way that I describe that. So if you're going to have one type that inherits from a different type in object-oriented programming and you want to refer to the base type, then you can do that using polymorphism. So that makes sense. Okay. Looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and close all these things out. That should be good. And in shared, I should have this login partial. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of my validation scripts partial. Do I want to get rid of this? Negative. And do I want to get rid of the error? Development environment should not be enabled. Okay, that's fine. Let's leave all of that. If I look at view imports, that's fine. And if I look at view start, this is the layout, which is defined for the project, which is fine. So let's take one more peek at the layout. This is where we're going to start chopping things up into partials. And then let's run it and take a look. If you guys have any questions, please put them into the channel. Also, we have this on Discord at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. That's the main way that we stay in communication. And also, all the videos that we've been putting up, including the last tutorial series, are up on youtube.com/c/liverdevtry. Thanks again. Please click the follow if you haven't. So this is the site as we've started it, and we shouldn't have anything anymore that represents account. Nothing. Now, it's still registering a route. So I guess what we could do is we could leave this so that we retain our routes, but because we have authorized at the top, no one's going to be able to access this. And then this way I'll be able to build in an admin panel for myself. Oh well, I guess I'll memorize it by ROTE for the next interview. Yeah. I feel like it's just really being able to talk about things for the most part and being able to show adaptability, because for a lot of developers, they fell into it because they're very versatile individuals. So being able to showcase that in an interview, I think really is a good idea, or at least, yeah. So anyways, if we take a look here, you can see now if I try to access account, it should tell me that I can't, or that there is no register. So let me comment out the ones that we don't want. We want to get rid of register. We want to get rid of register here. We can leave login and log out. Log out. We can get rid of login. Let's get rid of log out. Here's external login. We can get rid of that one. External log out. Let's get that out. Oh, that's a callback. Sorry, because it's using auth 2. External callback login confirmation. You can get rid of the confirm email, forgot password, reset password, confirm, send code, verify code, access denied. We want that one to stay. If I look at access denied, it should just fire me to let's send it back to the index in the, like that. Yeah. And then we have add errors here. I'm just going to add it to my model and the model state, pardon me, and then I'll redirect. So let's get rid of these regions because it bothers me. And I think we're about ready to bring it in. Let's do one more peek. Who is that? Hey, Wish Taker OG. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that, man. How are you doing? If you haven't, please click the follow. Oh, you just did. Please join us at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. That's the main way that we all stay in communication. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. Okay, so now when we run this, oh, we got a build error. Send code does not exist. This is for, that's fine. Let's try it one more time. I don't have that available at the moment because our bot is still under construction. So let me go ahead and send you an invite. Thank you. Okay, so here it is. And now we're running. And if we try to hit account, we get nothing. So I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and start bringing in our template. This is the template over here. So there's a couple pieces I want to bring in. The first one is going to be this index video, because there's a couple different versions of this available, and this is the one that I want. I'm going to be using the one that includes a video background image, and we're going to be importing our own video into it. So let's go ahead and bring this in. I want to open this up with Visual Studio 2017. Okay, here's the video. I'm going to bring this over here so that I can work on it. So first thing, I want to look at my template, which is under shared layout. Okay. When I start scrolling through this, you can see we're importing our snippets, which is fine. We have, these are our CSS files here. So let's go ahead and bring in the CSS files that this would like me to bring in. We have these files here. We have plugins.css, which is probably something that's written, came with the template. We have a couple of different parallaxer scripts, and I believe I've looked at these. These are the styling sheets for them. We have our smart forms, and we are still going to be using the CSS for that, but then we're going to be using the MVC pattern in ASP.NET Core to handle that. And then we have our standard CSS style sheet. So at the moment, I'm going to comment these two out. I'm just going to go ahead and bring all this stuff in here to 1, because I don't care. And now you can see that this one wants to bring in Bootstrap here and my site main CSS, and we can actually kill this entire environment. Now, before we go any further, let's go ahead and check it. Also, bear in mind that you will need to use something like IIS on top of your ASP if you want SSL as the .NET handling code for SSL at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to be using IIS on top. I didn't realize that SSL for .NET Core is poor, but this one, it's really lightweight at the moment. I don't know how much we're necessarily going to be implementing it, but that's a really good thing to keep in mind. We'll definitely. All right. So now you can see that I've removed all of the styling here, but our JavaScript, I think, is still intact. So let's go back and we can go ahead and get rid of this permanently, as well as these here. Now let's go into my content. I want to look at my CSS, and we'll get rid of site. You can see that this includes the default ASP.NET Core template CSS. So let's bring in the correct temp CSS. We want to get rid of this. Oops, it won't work if I'm running. And let me bring in the right template. So you can see over here in the got CSS, and we might as well just bring this in explicitly as it is. Okay. Now, the other ones that we had are boots, boilerplate. Let me see here. CSS is going to be going directly into there. So I think in here we want to add in my Ajax. Let's load more. Let's not worry about that. We want Bootstrap, Bower, Q portfolio, the parallaxer. Why not our font? We'll leave images where it's at. JS we'll take a look at manually. Smart form we want. We can bring in our SCSS, pardon me. And I brought those into the wrong folder, so that was really dumb. Just give it a second. You might need to update your NPM for Visual Studio, though, if you plan on using JavaScript frameworks. I'm not. I'm going to be using IIS and ASP.NET for the backend. Yeah. SSL is more or less required for anything that's like a login where you're posting data, but not for gets. You guys work with any self-signed certificates, or do you use any Let's? I don't. I use with self-signed certificates just locally, but hey, Papa Flu, I use Let's Encrypt. Might be guys. Awesome. All right, here it is. Give this another second as it finishes importing. Okay, so we need to move these things into the correct folder because that was a mistake. And we want to move plugins back. We'll start taking a look here at JS. Oh, hey, there was a follow. I didn't even see it. SMTCSMBS1. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, please put them into the channel. Come on. While this runs, I'm going to go fill up my coffee just a second. All right, sorry about that. Hey, I recommend the Let's Encrypt extension if you haven't got it already. No, I don't have that. I'm going to go ahead and add that here. I use what is that? PGP for that, or RSA. Okay, so where we left off was that we brought in all of the different CSS files. Let me go grab the JS now. The ones that we want are, we need to bring plugins back to CSS. Oh, that's your cert. That's your cert site. I was looking at AWS for it. BlizzCon on Friday. I hope they will announce a new WoW expansion. Probably. It seems about the right time, right? It's every 2 years or so if they're still in the same timeline. Okay, so here's our plugins. Let's go ahead and change the line endings. That's fine. And we'll close everything out. Okay, let's bring in the JS now. Now, this comes with just some, write your JavaScript code. Let's get rid of that. And I'm just going to drag in the correct JS files here. Okay, let's go ahead and run. Now, those JS aren't going to work, right? Okay, here we are. So we're good. And if I take a look, what's not found? Site.js is not found. So it's trying to reference still because we haven't worked with the JS yet. Let's take a look. Here, inside of my shared layout, we're going to just go ahead and cut here. And I believe it's down here under scripts. So if we look under my section, scripts, that's these right here. So we're going to go ahead and move everything into one. And we can start to bring in the scripts from our video HTML. Not this one, sorry. Here we are. So let's go down to JS. These are the ones that we want. And back over here, you should be able to do this right here. And I believe this is just copy and paste now. No more bundles, no more having to retype everything. And because I put all this into one, we can get rid of this whole environment. And now let's run it. Oh, I think I'm already running, right? So now we don't have any more errors, which is nice. Now what's going on here? Well, this is still my default template, right? So we got to remove that. So here under my layout, this is the header. And then this is our render body. So this realistically is just simply a shell. So if I look back one more time, I think it's just giving me this header. Yep, there it is right there. As well as the footer. That's the footer, pardon me. And the header is toggle navigation. I think this is hidden by default. So let's take a look at the body here under home. You can see this is the carousel. This is where it says the title home page. So we can actually probably get rid of this. So if I look back here at the layout, you should see this hyphen thing right here, which looks fine. And we can bring this back down here and we're going to say Pixel or Studios. And let's go ahead and get rid of our carousel and everything. Now, since we're inside of this partial, we can just actually bring in all of our content here. Not our footer, but let's bring in everything but the footer. And we don't need this. We do want to add body to our, we need to have a body tag. So if I look back at the the layout, I should see a body tag in here. And add it there. We can probably get rid of this content here. We can get rid of that. This is our body content. Here's our render, and here's our container. That looks pretty good, okay? So now, my template should be implemented. And let's go ahead and run it. If you guys haven't, please click that follow. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. We have a really active and supportive community. Thank you for you guys' support. Sorry, front end work. I don't need to refresh. Here we go. I'll recompile. So now it's going to tell me that it doesn't have images, right? So we can go ahead and add those in. But we're getting pretty close. This one's running here on local IIS. So let's add in the images. If you look here under the www root, here's our banners. But we don't have these anymore. In fact, from the template, we're just going to bring in explicitly what it asks, which are everything. Well, I don't need to go overkill with it. So let's actually track to see which images that it was requesting. It looks like Parallaxer here is doing a console log, so we'll get rid of that. CON1. Logo. Mac1. CON3. Let's bring those in first. Then it's IMG1, CON2, IMG3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 8. Let's bring those in. And then we want to do 10, 1, and then we have team 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's bring those in. And now let's see where we're at. Why are some keys on your keyboard orange? This is a gaming keyboard, so these 8 keys on this side, since the camera's monitored or mirrored, sorry, are the WASD. So they're slightly textured differently to kind of like make sure that you keep your hands in the correct place. But I really like this keyboard for typing. Okay, so you can see we're getting pretty close. This is still wrong. Our formatting here, we're definitely inside of some kind of container. So we need to remove that because we want this to be responsive across all sizes, and I'm not happy with that at the moment. But you can see our JS is working, and if we look, we'll probably have a couple of errors here. I can't stand this, so we need to get rid of, in this DZ parallaxer, we're going to look for a console.log. Sorry. I don't care about this one. Crap. We want to go look at the correct, I want to look at this one here and here. This is the one, D parallaxer.js, and we're going to look for console.log in this one file. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Fine. We'll find it. No. Looks like everything's commented. So where is it finding this? Console info. That one. Goes away. Oh, there's one. There's one. Almost done. I think they're all good from here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we can close that out. We can check it again. Okay, so it's saying that I still need a couple of pictures here, BG3 and 2. Just a second. Inside of images. Yeah, we don't have those in here yet. Let me bring in these in. Oops, you got to stop the project for this. Okay. Check it again. Oh, I've jumped over. Yeah, I know, I got impatient. But we'll track them here. Okay. So we're still within this container, which I need to remove. So 1149. This one. Here's one. 1149 again. Or is it not reloading all the way? Let me reload this from a incognito window. It's going to reload everything. Looks like I got one here on console line on 579. And there we go. So now we're no longer getting any problems, and we can scroll and see that everything's working without any logs. Okay, so let's fix this container. So to do that, if I look here, I want to make sure that I got all the pictures. So let's go ahead and we'll leave those out for now, and then those look fine. We have a couple logos in here that we need to add in, but we can do that after the fact. And I think that that's fine for our pictures. Okay, and then finally, let's go ahead and add in I want to remove that container. So if I look here inside of views under my layout, our container is this. Now container body content, that's probably something with one of these built-in libraries. So one of the libraries that we're implementing. So we could take a look at this again. Hey there, Mr. Balrog. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm impatient. There we go. That looks a lot better, right? So let's go ahead and partial this out. Yeah, I think it was Bootstrap, exactly. Okay, so we're pretty good here. I think I want to get rid of this, though. This footer. It looks all right. But it doesn't have any formatting on it, so we'll actually cut it. Which means that when I look back here at index video, we do want to grab the footer in here. Back to top. Everything's working great. Okay, so let's add in some partials. When I look here at my layout, our first partial that we want to add in here is going to be called, we gotta stop it. We're going to add a new view, and it's just going to be a partial view without a model. And we're going to say that this one's going to be called my footer. Come on. That shouldn't cause any problems. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to grab our footer here. We can just add it here. And now we can call this partial. And it's going to be a html.render partial. And we're going to call this my footer. Like that. Oops. You gotta run it. And now we can leave. I should probably make most all the partials at one time, right? So now you can see that my footer should still be fine. So that we're successfully bringing in and rendering this in multiple partials. So that's great. So we can really chop this up so that we can manage it a little bit better. So let's start at the top. So the very first piece that we have in here is a preloader. That's fine. Then we're going to have a parallaxer here that's going to be playing this video. So we can go ahead and create a new view, and we're going to call this my hero. I'll be creating two new sets of projects soon myself. One using ASP.NET Web API 2. Yeah, we've done one of those as well. So make sure you check out youtube.com/c/liverdevtrying. And a .NET Web API with some custom authorization and any framework EF core stuff. Hey, check out Identity Server 4 and Identity Server 3 for your OAuth authorization. I highly recommend those. For a microservice template, you should check out the other project that we're working on, the Pixel Horror Studios, and it's called Alley Chat, youtube.com/c/liverdevtrying. We'll be picking that project up again here in just a couple of days. So let's go ahead and bring in here on my hero. I want to go back to layout, and we want to, oops, sorry, it's under index here. You can close this one out. At the very top here, pardon me, got myself a little confused there. There we go. So here, we want to piece out this, and we're going to add this over into Hero. And now we can add in here a @html.render section. And we can say that this one's going to be called my hero. Okay. Let's do another one. The next one that we'll do here is this looks like a nav bar. So let's do a navigation. Wishtaker says, I'm glad I found your channel. I'm an inspiring dev learning C#, ASP.NET. Oh yeah, and Wishtaker, you joined the Discord. That's a great place as well. Welcome, man. Great to have you. I just started playing with Identity Server 4. Seems really nice for now. Yeah, we implemented Identity Server 3 on the last one after we did a custom one to start with. A little bit of a curve, but it seems to make sure that you fill all the holes in the protocol for OAuth. Okay, so now when I look back here at my navigation, let's bring that in. I want to look at layout. I'm sorry, I want to look at my hero. Okay. And so let's take a peek here, just one at a time. I want to take a peek at this nav, and then we're going to test these two. HTML dot render partial, and the next one here will be what? Navigation, right? Now, instantaneously, everybody's lights are going off. Wait, you're going to write this for each one of these? And the answer is no. Let me show you what we're going to do for that. There's our partial. So let's first run this. We already have OAuth 0 for authentication. I don't want to introduce another OAuth origin, but I'd rather use a Redis cache profile database for fast and certified. Yeah, I'm using Amazon AWS Elasticache as my Memcache server, and they are very, very fast if you're doing an M-tier scaled app. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Now, one of the things that I wanted to check was that if I clicked on Learn More, here we go. These are the pieces that are under where it's showing these. Okay, so let's go back. And what I want to do is on my index, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new model. It's just going to be a new class, and we're going to call this my index model. Okay, now at the moment, I don't have anything like a base model or anything like that. I don't think I even need it for this project. So in this one, what I want to do for my index model is it's just going to have a couple of properties in here. We're going to have a string, and it's just going to be called partial name. Okay, now, probably again screaming, this is really bad. So let's fix all this real quick. We're going to make a quick abstract class here called base model. We want to add in here a We want to add in here a good, and we want to call this my ID, and it's going to be equal to a good.new good. And then we also want to add in here a timestamp, nope, a date time, and we're going to say that that's a timestamp, and we're going to say that that's equal to a date time dot UTC now. And then also I want to do a like scaffold or something like that, right? Don't you have like a scaffold or a scaffold column? Is that still around? And this means that if we were ever going to scaffold these things out, we wouldn't receive these properties, which is great. This needs to be an abstract class. Looks great. So now here, this is going to be inheriting from base model. Okay, so you're going to be getting a number of these different partial names. So let's go ahead and create another model in here called partial model. We'll inherit here from base model as well. And now what this one's going to have is a string called a partial name. Is there anything else that we need in this? No. Okay. So now when I look at my, oh, there it is. If I look at my partial model, you also want to include a type here. And we're going to say where T is a type of class. So now I should be able to include that T in here. And we're going to say that this is my model. Now, I don't believe this is right. I think this has to be an object. Nope. Class. Class it is. Okay. And so now, can I make that thing optional? I should be able to. Didn't like that. Hold on. That's fine. Okay. So now this is a partial model, right? Now, if I look back over here, I think you can just do it like this. And so this way you can end up having a dictionary of these things, or a collection of these things, sorry. Like that. There's no way to specify a generic on that, so we'll just have to remember what that is, which will be fine. So we'll just do a string here of these partial models. Okay. And now when I look back here at my controller for this under my home, when I have my index here, what we want to actually do is return this var index model equals new index model. And in this, we have this partials equals this new. And what this thing's going to have is a new partial, right? Which is a model and a partial name. So for this first one, we'll just call it, if I look back here at my index, hero. And now there is no object on this one, right? And that's going to be it. So over here now, we can actually include this. How do you do it in this one? It's at model. Is it still the same? It looks like it's still the same. And it should be like my phs dot website dot models dot index model. So now what we can do is we can actually do a little C#. So we'll make a block, and we're going to say for each, and we'll say var item in my model dot partials. We can simplify this. Now I can look at my item dot partial name. Okay. So now what I can do is a HTML dot render partial item dot partial name. So after we do this, this should work just fine. We should be rendering the same little piece here. We don't have a model which is coming in with this, but we can specify it like this. Let's go ahead and run it. Maybe you want a partial model property that says header, footer, nav content. I will be doing that. Exactly. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of partials here. And then we'll be storing them in a database and then caching it. Wishtaker says, "You are a wizard, sir. LOL." Oh, you like that little progression there? So here, this is saying that this can't compile this resource because it's commented. Okay, so why is this failing? Object reference not set. So when I look back here at home, oops, you never returned it. Let's add this in here. I see. You think an order would be good. That is a good idea. And we'll store all that in the database. All right, so here we are. And you can see that, in fact, our hero is loading. So this is working. So what we can do now is we're going to create a very quick service in here. We're going to create one called a data access layer. And what I want to have in here is something that's going to pull from, let me think for just a second. So you're going to have a data access layer, and then you're going to have a factory. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a new folder for these. Well, this is a small little site, so we don't need to do that. So under my factory, what we want to do is we want to both, now we need to store these in the database. So what we want to do is under my, just a second, we need to have a context in here. And I already have that here as my application database context. So let's add in the additional tables that we want. So we're going to have a DB set, and this is using Entity Framework. Just a second here. Sorry, it's a public DB set of my type, and then this one was a identity partial model. Okay, and then also we want to add in here that index model. So let's go ahead and add in my base here. We want to add a bool here called active. And then here, under my partial, it's a very good idea here to do let's go back. I want to do this as a I collection of my partial. Now, right now, because they didn't include virtual, Entity Framework is not going to use lazy loading. So let's go ahead and do that. And now under my partial model, we need to make sure that I have a link. So that's going to be a prop, and it's going to be a good, and that's going to go over to the index model. And then also you need to have a virtual index here model called index. And then here you can do a integer here, right? And it's going to be called a partial value. And then the next one here is a partial, sorry, this is called a partial code. Come on. Partial code value, right? Because now you can create inside of your models something called a view model. So you make a new folder here called view models. And now you'll want to make in here a partial view model. So this thing is going to have a partial model in it. Well, actually, to do this correctly, we don't want to pass that whole model. We'll just want to pass over this partial name and then the model. We need to have a base view model in here. Okay, this one's going to be a partial, and this thing's going to be a GUID here. That's all it needs. Okay, this is going to be a base view model. This one is a string. And that looks pretty good. And we have our association set up. Okay, so now when I am in my data access layer, the first thing that I want to have is a copy of my application user. So let's go ahead, of my application database context. So let's extract an interface from this. And now we're going to inject it. Right here. I'm sorry. And this goes here. And it's going to be called my context. Might as well make it protected. And we can just do this. And now what you want to have is just a public here, which is going to be a I collection here of index. No, we just want to do an index model called index, get index. And this is going to end up being asynchronous, right? Public async task of my index model. And now what you want to do is using, nope, because we're using that. So now we can just do a context dot index is going to be equal to, oops, var index is equal to my context dot index dot single. We'll do a first or find. Oh, we don't have system link in here, right? So we need to include using system.link. And this one's going to be a first or default of my s, where my s.active is true. And this needs to be asynchronous. Ah, crap. This one's using the wrong index model, right? There we go. And so now in my factory, well, let's go ahead and extract the interface from this. And now over here in my factory, let's go ahead and inject the data access layer that we just wrote. And now what we can do is a public void, no, public async task get index view model. So now under view models, we need to have another one in here called a index view model. I'm using .NET Core, and .NET Core has a DI framework already implemented. If it doesn't, we'll be using Unity, which is what I've used in the past. There's also like Ninject. I haven't used that though yet. Index view model here. So here we want to add in a string called my partial name, and then also we want to have the object here called my partial model. I think we just called it model. Nope. This is completely incorrect. This is a partial view model, and you'll have a list of them like that. So now let me take one more peek at index model, partials, partial view model. We have our link. That looks good. And here's our partials. Oops. And now, under get index view model, what we're going to have is a await my data access layer dot get index. Let's go ahead and change that to be model. And now what you want to return here is the index view model. And now what you want to do is return a new one of these things, right? Where my partials, just a second. So you should be able to set up AutoMapper in here to handle this on your behalf, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to add a new NuGet package. And we're going to add in a AutoMapper. Now, I wonder if this works with .NET Core. Let me find out real quick. Oh, yeah, I got that. That's easy. We got that. Yes, yes, yes. I think it is just AutoMapper version 6.61. Let's go ahead and install it. So now, what was saying is that here in startup, I don't like the inject. It's super slow. Like he said, .NET Core already has built-in DI. In Program CS and startup when registering services, it'll fix it. As long as I register them. So actually, we'll come back in here and we'll say, I like this one. I'm going to pull this over here. We'll get this implemented real quick. So here, it did finish. Let's see if I can just add it. Services.add AutoMapper. Okay. Auto mapper dependency injection. There it is. And that'll give me the extension method. Everything that targets 4.6.1 should work fine with .NET Core. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. What? Don't worry about all this. This is strange. It seemed to not be happy with me after that. Hey, congrats, man. That was quick. Shouldn't beat yourself up. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Okay, let's go ahead and comment this back out. It's going to tell me that I probably need to unload that last little thing that I put in there. Yeah. This project, I'm just going to move on. Okay, so let's get this out. Just one more check here. Yeah, they called and said we upgraded it. It should be you. Awesome, man. Congratulations. That's a great day. Get yourself a drink, man. Enjoy. Okay, so that should be fine now. Let's go ahead and rebuild it. We'll just do it manually for now because it's just so small. So we'll do this. How did this break? I'm a little confused as to what happened here. How did this break? Let me look at my references real quick. Interesting. Okay, just one little error. Perfect. So now let's make a new one of these. And now this thing wants to get a new what? One of these partial view model things. So let's not do this yet. And what I want to do is I want to do a for each var item in model dot partials. Then what we want to do is have this partial here, var view model equals your new partial view model, and you're going to do a model name equals your item dot model name. Second, sorry, it's not a item partials. Partial name. And the other one was what? Your model, which is, at this point, I think you left it as a object. So this should be a string. So we'll do model name. We'll do, oh no, that's a view model, so that's fine. So you don't even have these at the moment. So we'll just do something like this. Okay. And then we can add this to your var view models equals a new list of my partial view model. We'll add that in. Okay. And now here you're going to return this new index view model where your partials are equal to your view models dot to array. Okay. So now we need to register these. So let's go ahead and create this factory here. And now I want to come into the startup, and also you said program here. So this is the web hoster builder start. Nope, under startup, I see it's self-hosted now. Okay, under configure services, add transient, add identity, add context. I should have something in here like services.add type. What's a transient? Does that mean that it goes away? No. Transient means that there's one, right? So let me see real quick. We'll take a look at my .NET Core dependency injection. Yeah, we got that. Here, add identity, add MVC, registering your own. Add void I character repository, there it is, and add scoped. Add singleton, we don't want that one. Add scoped. So here we go, transient are created each time they are requested. This is the one we want. And the first one here is your service is your I data access layer. And you said that that was called your data access layer. Okay, you have a couple more. The first one is your I application DB context, but that's already being handled. No, that creates this database context there, and then you have this I application database context, which goes to this application database context. And then you need to have your I factory, which is called factory. And now here under my accounts, under my controller for home, I should have under index something here that does I need to do a constructor in here, and this is going to pass in my I factory, and that's going to be a protected I factory. Thank you. Sin none says transient will create it as it's requested, which is what I was looking for. And now we can do a factory equals factory, and I should be able to do a asynchronous task on this action result. And now we can do a var, I believe I can do something like this. Await my factory dot get index view model. And then if I look back here at the view, under index, you can change this to okay, and then that's index view model, and then here in my interesting. Oops, that's the wrong index view model. So we want phs.website.models.viewModels.index view model. Like that. Let's run it. Now, this ain't gonna work because it's gonna error because I haven't changed the database context. I haven't updated it. How's my time looking? Cool, I'm about halfway. Pretty good. We can start implementing the content after this. Operation failed. Yep, perfect. So let's go ahead and add the migration here. So back down here on Package Manager, we're going to do add migration, and I'm going to say that this is going to just be inclusion of navigation from database. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add this migration. Although it's a slightly CMS-y, perhaps add a file exists check for the partial. Well, it has a active, so it has to be active, right? If I look here at my model, under we want to default that to be true, right? So we'll actually have to update that here in just a second. So we want that to be a default of true. And now on my just a second here. On my data access layer, where this thing is being pulled, one more second. That's under my services data access layer. You're returning that first context where it is equal to active, which is great. Okay. So now in your migrations, you need to seed it. Did they change how you do this? Hold on. Where's the seed? Where is it? Let's see where that is. Oops. Right here. Database initializer. Database initializer, when this thing starts. Okay, so that's a little different. So what that means is that when this application starts, it's actually going to, okay, we can do that. So let's up here create a new, in data, a new class. We're going to say that this is my database initializer. And now what this thing needs to be is a static class. And you want to do a public static void initialize of your context. And this one, because it only runs when you start the app, it's going to be like that. Context.database.ensure created is the first one. And we can do this, that's fine. And then we can run seed. So this will be a private static void called seed. And in this, what we want to do is pass my context. And now what you want to do is, if my context dot, this one's going to be context dot partials index. It's going to be index dot any s where my s dot active is false. So if there's not any in there where it's true, then what you want to do is you want to add one. So you're going to say context.index.add, and it's going to be a new index model. We can just go ahead and add the, oops, that was fine. And now we can go ahead and start adding these in. This one will be true. We'll have a partials and a timestamp. Now we can do these, We can say a new partial view model. Like that. And now my name here is going to be my partial name is equal to my and we had hero. This is a partial model. Now, back on the partial model, you wanted to have something here called an order, right? And let's put that on the view model. Okay. And we'll set that order. Is there anything else? Not on this first one. Okay, let's go ahead and rebuild it. Oh, we need to initialize this when my program starts. So that's here. Like that. Just a second. Like that, okay? Just a second. There we go. And now my context here is going to be called my application DB context. So here we can go ahead and add a new private static void seed DB. This is a iWeb host. And we'll call that host. All right, let's go ahead and update that. And then we'll check it. Oh, let's go ahead and get rid of all of these and we'll do a new migration on this one. Oops. So that's not going to work because the database is already created. So we have to delete it here, delete it here, and we'll just do it again. Interesting. Oh, I got to go back. So that's just the default one is all. That looks fine. We might as well just double check this. So I want to open this project up here and I'm going to go delete my bin and my OBJ folders. So that's done. Let's try it again. Or is it coming from this? It's not. I think this is it here. This is the initial creation. Yeah, partial model has foreign key. We should be good. Now we can do a update database. I could have just done automapper the same way that I did my own. Would have been easy, but that's fine. Okay. Oh, it wouldn't work because you got to pull in the models anyways. Okay, so now we should be able to run this. Before I go any further, I want to check to make sure that this thing has a website and in fact that it has a... There are no tables in this. All right, we got a little bit of an issue here. Let's fix this. The easiest way that I can think of to do this initially right now would be to just trick it. So let's do application settings. We'll change this to be web. I'll just say site. And then we can come back up here. We can get rid of this migration. We can get rid of these migrations. We can try it again. Because that probably was the problem, was those migrations there. And now we're going to update it. Okay. Now I think it's time to start bringing in the content. Or actually, if I look here under migrations, I probably want to continue to add in more models as I go, but that'll be fine. Let's give it a test. Okay, here it is. Let's delete this. Let's take a look at this one at my tables under my index. Okay, so it doesn't look like that initializer worked. Here, I don't think you have enough values in here, so let's go back. Let's do active equals true. Index is equal to, what does this mean? That doesn't matter. Partial code here, we could say that this is 100. We could say that my partial code value here is my hero and my timestamp is good, my end. Let's try that. You've only built and migrated. The database seed is only running during program runtime. It's running when... So in .NET Core, I haven't been able to find how I seed it when I do an update database. Instead, what it's kind of telling me to do is create this initializer and then run it initially to find out if, in fact, that this is going to work. So we can, for example, break on this. Let's try it again. So now when we break on this, you can see my context is not okay. So now we're going to actually try to create it here. And it worked this time. But I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Save changes asynchronous. Stupid, stupid Rob. Okay, here we go. Hey, John. How's it going, man? It's good to see you. Yeah, Mr. Bellroy, that's what I forgot. How you doing, John? It's great to see you, man. How goes it? Let this thing run. There it is. Now it's working. And there's the partial. index model did not grab the link. Oh, index ID and index model. Interesting. I'll have to take a peek at what's going on with that. All right, so that's fine. If I look here under models for would help if you set up these associations correctly, right? Good man, viewing it up at the moment. Almost there. This is a .NET Core project I'm doing real quick. Trying to get done under 3 hours. We're making pretty good progress. I gotta switch over to content here pretty much ASAP. I just need this thing to build. All right, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get rid of this database. And then we'll get rid of these two. And then we're going to go down to the app settings, and we'll just say like that. Let's go ahead and do a add migration init. Best resources to properly learn React in 2 weeks' time. John would be a great resource for that. He's here in the channel. They apparently use React and TypeScript, but I've only used Angular. I think Code Academy has something, I think. But I think John's going to vamp Vue. Pushed him to Vue. Everyone's saying that, though, to be honest. It seems really strong. All right, let's run it. Don't worry about that. Well, actually, that might be an issue. Let's disconnect here. There you go. Hey there, Arc. Okay. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please let us know. We've got a really active and supportive community. This looks great. Make sure you join us at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Also, all these videos from the first one for the last tutorial, and this is just a short one, are up on youtube.com/c/litterdevtroy. Okay, this thing is still telling me that this has got a problem. So we are currently, if I connect and take another peek at these databases, and I look at the site test, and I look at index, and I look at partial, we now are getting our index model ID, so we are getting our association. And so now when I look at the controller, when this is being hit here, just want to see what's happening. Okay, factory is not null, so that's working right. When you come in here, you're getting your index model. You got that successfully. You don't have any partials, so it didn't load partials in here. So if you look, but you're doing the two virtual properties, so it looks like that they've turned off lazy loading, which is okay. So to do this then, under your get this, you want to do a include s where my s dot partials. Yeah, exactly, says Mr. Balrog, do include. Yeah, they turned off lazy loading, which is great, because lazy loading is not really the best thing. You can end up making these tremendous database calls if you're doing something like a web API, where you're like taking it, you're creating little objects, and then you're sending those out, and then you're receiving them and reconstructing them. If you're using lazy loading, a lot of times it's just going to keep filling those objects. It just keeps building and adding those resources to it, so your polls become very massive. Okay, so here you go. Models. Here you can see we got our partials, and it's going to work. Here it is. And you can see it successfully loaded, and you can see the hero. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start to finish parsing these things out. Start to finish parsing these out. So if I go back over here to my home, oh, sorry, we're back in the models now. Under index. The next one that you have here is called navigation. So let's do that one. So the other piece that you want to keep open here would be this, not that one, it's under data. We can just add a new one of these. And this next one here will be called navigation. This one will be a 0, this one will be a 1, and this one will be a navigation. Let's add one more. Okay, this one, this is about. So I want to add in here a new view. It's going to be called about. What's the problem here? Okay, this one we can do is about. Okay. There we go. And now we can add our about here. Yeah, I saw that. Time to drop the kids off at the pool. All right, man. Make sure that they're swimming before you leave. Insert it outside of the partials. Yeah, you guys saw that too. I was just a little outside there with those. Okay, let's come back and grab this about. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. We can get rid of this. Again, I bet people are screaming here because if you looked at where if you looked back here in your home when you're pulling these, you want to get an order by, right? From here. Order by. Sorry, you have to do it below. Can I do this in here? Let me see. Maybe not. Hold on. Oh, I think you can do it here. I think you can just do it right in the view. You just do this, and then you can do and then you can do an order by here. And you can do it by my order. Okay, and then when we come down here, we can get rid of okay, let's take a peek at what we got. First thing I better do quickly is I need to edit in my index this to make this. Okay, that's going to fail. So let's go back, close this out. We need to make sure that this thing is set to false. Here we go. Hey, it's running. Now, one of the problems here is that anytime anybody goes to this website now, it's going to be hitting the database. So that could generate a lot of traffic for something that I'm not going to be changing very much. So I'm going to do a data cache on it. So it's working, although it put it in the wrong order here, right? So why did it do that? Well, this needs to be order by descending. You hit build and the string crashed. Still doing it. So it probably needs to be reloaded from. No. Hacking 101. Hero navigation about 0, 1, 2. Is it because 0 isn't the first one? What is about? This is the about here. Navigation is above. Let's do one more and just see what's going on. Yeah, it's definitely not descending. That's for sure. Could I do it by partial code? So we'll do that, and then we'll do a partial code here. Partial view model. So when these things are being assigned, because you're not using AutoMapper. So let's go back then it's in the factory is where this is happening. That'll fix it. You aren't hydrating your view model? Yeah, you got it. I mean, you don't want to descend. Yeah, it's right there. Bam. It just didn't have the order in there. It was just all equivalent. Okay, so now this thing is saying that. What happened there? It would help if you did the right word. Here it is. Bam, and now it's working. So let's finish these very quickly. The next one here is, this is going to be it looks like that this is contact. If I look back here, yeah, so this is going to be a banner. So let's make a new view model in here. I'm sorry, a new partial in here. We'll make this one just called banner. Come on, go quicker. Whatever, that's fine. Okay. And then we can add banner here. Okay, the next one here is this services? Yeah. Almost done. Here we go. If it would load faster. Okay. Let's add services. Okay. The next one here is portfolio. Almost done. Okay, you can add that one in here. We'll make this one 5, like that. The next one here is oh, that was the last one. Oh, no, that was stupid. What's CTA? So let's go look at this real quick. Portfolio, CTA. We love what we do. I'll give you a complete account of the system's image1.mac. Oh, it's this. So this one we can call banner 2. Almost there. That's this piece, right? So we can add in banner 2 here. And this one we can call portfolio at 6. How many more of these do we have? This one is called what? Pricing. So we'll make a new one for this. Okay, bring this one in here. Okay, how many more? Let me see. The next one here is, this is team. That's goes pretty quick when you have it set up like this, right? Hey there, pal. I'm making the Pixel Horror Studios website. Just a real simple one. We're doing it in 3 hours. Doing it in .NET Core. You can see I've got it structured over here so that it's going through a database. But we need to still cache it. We'll do that next. Okay. The next one here is testimonials. Partial code value for pricing is still portfolio. Thank you. Good eyes. Good eyes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good eyes. And also, no, there it is. Okay. Testimonials is the next. testimonials, right? 9, like that, true, partial code 109. And the last one here is, hey there, Jay Rext. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them in the channel. Also, make sure you guys join our Discord, which is the main way that everyone stays in communication. And I put the link in the channel right there. Also, all these videos for this and a couple other projects are up on youtube.com/c/liverdevtrying. Okay. So now this one here is contact. And then we have last one, which is the parallaxing. So this will be called collaborate, I believe. This is all, I have to take a peek at what this is. So this one was contact. Okay. Add it here. And now this one is banner 3. What does this get you that a static site wouldn't? It doesn't seem like this is going to change often. Hey, I got a cheer. 48. I didn't even know I had a thing for that. Thanks, fella. Appreciate that, man. Awesome. Yeah, I just recently affiliated, so thank you. So what's the point of this as far as a static website? It's just how you want to do it. Since we're using a back end with it, this is pretty much just as easy as leaving it as the static website. Except that now it's easier for me to come in later and make modifications, and I won't having to be like scramble through. So it's sort of like doing work beforehand to save myself effort later, even though it will only take a little bit of time. So this one's banner 3. Like that, like that. Looks good. This is your preloader, that's fine. And then if we came back over here at the template, was there one more that you wanted to do on your template, or are you ready to test it? You could definitely put your environment in one. You could definitely put your scripts in one. So let's do that real quick. So we're going to say style sheets. I think you missed the underscore in the view name. Thank you. Let me take a peek. Yeah, I did. You have very good eyes, sir. Thank you. Okay. And so now here we could just add this stuff in. At html.renderPartial, and we're going to say that this thing is my style sheets. And then here you can do one more called scripts. It's like my pseudo bundling. Now, interesting. You have a second scripts here, so you want to make these your template scripts template. Okay, and so now we can add in our other partial here. like that. And then I think the only thing left to do is, well, we have to reseed the database, which is quick. And then also if I looked at the controller for home right here, that looks fine. And the other thing was that you wanted to cache it. So let's go ahead and try this first before we cache it. Okay, run it. See it run. What's the partial code going to be used for? Organization. And then if I need to use it in other things, I can, other applications, anywhere. I really try to stay as modular as possible with any programming that I do so I can use it elsewhere. So you can see everything is now successfully loading from the database. That is awesome. Now the problem still is that we're hitting the database with every call. So we're going to do one final little thing here, which is on my controller for home. I want to change the call here on index, and I want this to be returning a response cache, which should be resulting every duration of, and now this is in what, minutes? In seconds. So we could say that every 60 seconds in a minute, 60 seconds, 3,600. So every hour it's going to hit only once. Sure, what's going on, John? And now we should be cached. And we can even test that, I think. Come on. All right. And now it should hit here once, right? And now when it hits again, it actually is still hitting each time, huh? It's still caching. It's not caching, right? Still. Interesting. What do you mean? What's going on with IIS? There's a few settings that you have to do. Webpack has this proxy config where I can pull from another server's API. Okay. I'm trying to get it work with IIS, but no luck. Are you using ASP.NET? It may be better to talk about this one offline, but I mean, I'll be around right after I finish today. It's kind of annoying right now that it does that, but I don't really think. Maybe I could just do it on the whole controller. Let's just run that on the whole controller. So here, we'll do it also here. We'll just try that. It's up on Git if you want. Yeah, send me the link. Don't you need to set it up with the web config equals stuff? Yeah, I'd have to play around with Webpack a little bit, but if you're having a problem with IIS usually has a bunch of different settings in there that you can play with. So now I don't think it's caching any. Now it's no longer hitting because it's caching correctly. See, is that correct? Probably not. Let's try it. Give it a second. Okay. GS Spot 8888. Thank you for that follow, man. Appreciate that. If you have any questions, please put them into the channel. Also, join us at discord.pixelhorsevideos.com, and all these videos are up on youtube.com/c/liberdevtrying. It's kind of annoying that it's not caching, but I'm okay with it for right now. Live or dev trying is what it is. Okay, guys, what I got to do real quick is I know I got 1 hour left, so I'll be setting the clock for 1 hour when I get back. I'm going to take a quick 18-minute break. I'll put it up on the clock. I'll put some music on. I'll still kind of be floating around the computer a little bit. I got to fill up my coffee. I got to use the restroom, and then that way I'll be ready. We'll hit it really hard for that last hour. So if you have any questions, please put them into the channel. Make sure you check us out at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. And why don't see you in just a little bit. Thanks again, guys.